What's going on, guys? It's Mr. DEBT Joe Lorick from the Money Etiquette Group here with another video to talk about an upcoming IPO. And today we're going to talk about Uber, the popular ride-sharing tech company. We're going to talk about Uber's profits, revenues. We're going to talk about how big the company is, how many acquisitions it's made. We're going to talk about how many users they have, how many countries they're in. We're going to give you all the information you need to make a good decision on whether you should invest in Uber or not. But before we get into that, make sure to hit your subscribe button. Make sure to turn your notifications on. That way, as soon as we drop a video, whether it be about upcoming IPOs, financial literacy, budgeting, you'll get that instant notification. So let's get straight into the numbers. As of 2019, Uber has not made a profit. Year over year, they have not made a profit. They've lost less money in 2018 compared to 2017. I believe in 2017, it was about 2 billion, and they lost 1.8 billion in 2018. So they are shrinking their losses. However, at this moment, Uber is still a company that has not turned a profit. In 2018, Uber earned 11.3 billion in revenues. Again, 11.3 billion revenues, which is a 47% increase over 2017. So Uber is growing in revenue growth. Now, however, in the early 2019 first quarter numbers, revenue growth has slowed as more competition has entered the market, with Lyft growing and their IPO coming out. But nevertheless, this is still a company that's seeing revenue growth. When it comes to their services, in 2018, Uber took in $50 billion worth of bookings. This is between the delivery, Uber Eats service, and the ride-sharing service. And speaking of service, it's estimated as of today that Uber has 110 million active users. Again, 110 million active users through its app. When it comes to the ride-sharing market in the United States, Uber dominates. We're talking about Uber versus Lyft, and Uber owns 69% of the U.S. market. When it comes to their worldwide presence, Uber operates in 70 countries. And recently, with the acquisition of Careem, which is another ride-sharing company which operates mainly in the Middle East, but also has a presence in Africa and South Asia, they're going to expand even more. We're talking about a company that operates in 15 countries, again, between South Asia, mostly in the Middle East, but also in Africa, which also represents 120 cities within that region. So we're talking about an acquisition that's certainly going to expand the brand. Careem will get to keep its name. It will operate kind of as a subsidiary and independently, but when it comes to revenues, it's a great move for Uber. So now that we've dealt with the revenues, the profits, how many countries they're in, some of their moves that they've made recently to expand, let's get into who actually owns Uber. SoftBank owns the biggest percentage of the company at 12.8%. Following SoftBank, we have Benchmark Capital Partners, who owns a whopping 8.5% of the company. Then we get into the founders. Travis Kalanick, who's also the CEO, owns about 6.7% of the company. Garrett Camp, the other co-founder, owns about 4.7% of the company. Their largest foreign investor could be found in the Middle East, specifically in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's public investment fund owns about 4.3% of the company. Following SAPIF, we have Alphabet, which owns about 4.2% of the company, and Ryan Graves, the first employee, now COO, that owns about 1.9% of the company. Now, on to the stock price. It's been put out there through reports that the valuation is between $44 to $55 per share. That's the estimated initial public offering for Uber shares, between $44 and $55. Most people won't see it until it's 58 to 60 because they're not refreshing their app. You know, their Robinhood, their E-Trade app, they're not going through it quickly. However, also keep in mind you're competing with millions of people. You're competing with big businesses and conglomerates when it comes to getting those initial shares. So you got to be quick. And again, if you don't know the dating that this is supposed to happen, this is supposed to come out early May. So that could be towards the end of this week, or it could be the following week. Either way, we're talking about the first 2 weeks in May in which we're expecting the Uber shares to hit the market. All right, guys, there you have it. That's our reporting on Uber. I hope the information leads you to a good investment choice. Me personally, I'm going to invest in Uber and Lyft because I believe in ride sharing, and I believe they're going to sustain themselves through the next 10, 15, even 20 years. Now, when I talk about long-term investments, I always look at it from that point of view first, especially for a beginner. It's not so much about the charts. It's not so much about here's historically where the market has gone. If you're day trading, yeah, that's important. But if you really believe in a company, you have to ask yourself, why not invest? If I believe they're going to be around 10 to 15 years, why not? But some of you may not believe in them. So let me know in the comment section if you believe in them, if you're going to invest in Uber versus Lyft, if you think the share value is where it should be. Would you add to the comment section, and what you add to the conversation adds value. So I love to hear from you guys. It's not about me being an expert. I want to hear about what you guys plan on doing. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because we have videos coming out on a regular basis about IPOs, about different stocks, cryptocurrency, financial literacy, everything finance. We like to talk about it so that we can become wealthier in the near future.